All right, peeps. Welcome to episode number 21 of the Nosedive Podcast. My name is Vinie Vizzle and I have Mark right next to me. Mark, how have you been? It's been a while.
It has been a little while. We took sort of an official summer break and then just kind of took a slightly longer summer break, and I didn't set any dates to record any podcasts, which I think is probably going to become a bit of a theme because it is starting to get wetter and darker.
Mhm.
And so we'll have more time to record more podcasts, and hopefully more people will listen to them because it's wetter and darker and they'll feel miserable, and we can all be miserable together. But otherwise,
for
yeah, I've been good. I've been good. How about you?
Been doing fine. Been busy with other projects than Onewheeling. A lot of stuff at home and just taking care of things. It's been a good summer. We've had some good weather. I had some good sessions in between. Haven't been making a lot of vlogs, but I did. I was filming for another project that we are working on, and it is finally getting some shape. So that's cool. It's not always that easy to motivate people to do stuff, but it's cool that things are getting together, especially over the summer. It's always a tricky period to get people together. But we did a little trip with our skirt, or a part of the skirt team. We went to the Ardennes for a little team trip. Our good friend Alexis his step-parents have some land in the Ardennes, and he has an amazing shred spot right in the middle of the big forest there. So it was really awesome to join the guys, have a little session amongst ourselves.
Excellent. You've churned out a couple of vlogs over the summer. You've done a couple of videos that, whether you've been keeping them in the background or whatever, but you've done a couple of little videos that I've watched and enjoyed. Especially enjoyed the Shred the Shires race jersey in the ghosting video, and you reminded me when you did the video on changing your sensor. And it reminded me that I had tried to order a sensor, but my phone was being weird. And then watching your videos, I was watching it while I was eating breakfast. I went, shit, I need to order a new front sensor for my XR, for my son's XR. I was like, shit, okay, 8 o'clock in the morning, they're ordering Onewheel parts. So thank you for reminding me, because it should hopefully be with me soon now. I completely forgot.
Yeah, and I just left my Onewheels on the side for a couple of weeks and then didn't think about them. And then when I stepped back on, I remembered I was remembered about the ghosting issue right away. I definitely stepped in to fix that. Normally I have like friends to help because I'm really a noob in electronics, but this time I challenged myself to throw it open myself and tackle it, and it worked out fine. Very pleased with the Float Life varial rails. It's the first time that I open up a board and that I can put it back together and there's no issue. There's no screws that don't fit or something like that. So really glad with the setup that I have there. And I have 2 new sensor pads, which is awesome and safe again.
Nice. I suppose while we've been off air, still sounds weird saying that sort of thing, but while we've been off air, there's been 3 major things that have kind of occurred in the one-wheeling world, certainly our side of the pond. I know we have a lot of US listeners as well.
Yeah.
We've had the Danish Onewheel Games. We've had Send It Surrey, and Onewheel came over to the Dolomites as well.
Yeah.
So 3 big major things that happened with us. So the first one in order was the Danish Onewheel Games. I know Goes went to that.
Yeah.
I only saw one bit of Goes at that, was obviously standing on the podium and standing in the fire, riding his Onewheel off of a flaming pallet.
Which that's where he won best trick, apparently.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. He did really well.
It was a trick, but
he didn't really expect it himself, but he did really well. Balance challenges are really his thing, and he's really like a monkey on a board. So it really translates well in a ride like the Danish Onewheel Games, and we're very proud that he brought home some prizes. He won the race, and he also won the prize of best trick. Also, I think one of the ladies also won a prize there. Lola, his daughter, came in second or third. I can't remember.
It must have been
Correctly,
third because
but
Kate came second. Kate from Shred the
okay.
Shires came second. She was very pleased with that.
Yeah.
They let me know kind of about the vibe. They said it was very chilled, very laid back,
Mhm.
really nice food. Everything was really, a trust bar and stuff like that. And they said it was
Yeah.
very efficient. Everything happened on time, which is a very Lars thing. If anybody's ever met Lars and you've gone to an event and there's supposed to be a social
Yeah.
ride happening, Lars is there going, 9:30, come on, social ride. I'll lead it. Let's go. I don't know where I'm going, but I'll lead it. And he's gone. And either you follow Lars or you try and catch up with everyone else in the stream of people. So when they said it was very efficient and everything happened when it was supposed to happen, I was like, yeah, that sounds right. But they really totally different event, obviously.
Yeah.
But they really enjoyed themselves, which makes me even more
Yeah.
annoyed that I didn't get there this year.
The main feedback that I've been hearing is that it has a very homey and family vibe because it's actually in Lars's house and on his own terrain, and he also limits the tickets to a smaller amount to make it really cozy. And it's a real Danish thing. They call it hygge. I hope I pronounce it right.
I think you're right there.
And that's kind of just getting friends together, having a good time. That's what it's all about, and that's really reflects in Lars's event. If you see the images, if you catch the vibe, it's all about that.
Yeah, it's all captured in the videos and the pictures and stuff, and you can see that. And I'm not going to even start saying stupid things like, "Oh, I hope to go next year," but I do hope to go next year.
Yeah, it's always.
Let's see if I plan these things out slightly better, perhaps.
Yeah, I still hope to get. I bought a ticket one time, and then I couldn't go because of an injury. So yeah, I supported the event.
Our man James went there with Kate, and James didn't compete because he was still nursing a fractured rib or two, one or two fractured ribs. So he decided not to go in the element of the balance side of things. And if you're going to fall off, it's a drop because you're on a balancing, on a beam rather than anything else. I think he erred on the side of caution and just decided to go and enjoy himself, which apparently everybody did. It was a really good event. So it was annoying that I couldn't make it, but I did make it to Send It Surrey. Where it was definitely sent. Let's say that. It was very, very different to the Danish Onewheel games, which people had been to only a week before. Really need to work out the timetable on these things, guys. But yeah, it was a lovely event. I think the general vibe was really, really nice. Their first event, I know it's not Andy's first event. Andy has put on quite a few different Onewheel events. And when I was talking to Andy, he was never supposed to put it on. He was just kind of advising and then just sort of took charge and made things happen. For a first event putting it on, there wasn't too many hiccups and stuff. It was great to see a few of the Americans over there. I think there was a lot of talk about the Oak City guys coming over and helping out. And I know a few of them definitely did. And a few of them definitely came over and stayed up drinking till 6 o'clock most mornings. And then didn't reappear all weekend. So I think there was a misbalance of how much fun they were going to have based on how much help they could provide Andy and the team. But they still pulled it together. Loads of people volunteered. To marshal because the track was, I suppose, how to describe the track, like riding through a freshly ploughed, rough, rocky field in the middle of summer. And I am not over-exaggerating. And anybody listening to me that went to Send It Surrey knows full well that I'm not over-exaggerating. But that's what made it a little bit fun. It made it very, very different. Kind of, I want to say it's like WoW, but it was spread out. It was in the forest. So it was in the woodlands. So there wasn't really a lot of opportunities to go to certain points to be able to see where people were and stuff like that. Very narrow parts of the track. But I think everybody that raced really enjoyed it. It was a leg burning track. I mean, it was a full on, there was no let up of, I can cruise here for 20 seconds and just relax the muscles in my leg. It was full on hell for leather. But good event, good racing. Everything took place that was planned to take place. I think there were some delays, but I'm having now been to that event and looked at the timetable and stuff, and things that were still planned in the timetable still happened. I think Andy put a big cushion in between different things that were happening to allow them to have more time. But it was definitely a fun event. And I know they're going to alternate in between years, in between different, highlands, and hopefully Send It Surrey again if they can pull that off.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like Floatline Fest, one of the first one-wheel events here in Belgium. That is unfortunately not longer happening.
I know
But
that's
there
what
we
really got
also,
me into wanting to come to Belgium, was seeing the videos of that
yeah,
year when I started one wheeling.
yeah. I still remember my first and only edition I did there. Half of the course also was like one big potato field. You could just, it was just all chunk sometimes. And especially the more people were riding on it, because it was very sandy, and sand
Yep.
moves if the wheel spins. And after a while, even some of the straight lanes were all chunked up, and it's quite amazing how far you can push it, especially back in the day. No footholds, not one, nothing whatsoever. So we were really bouncing. I still had my stock grip, which was the very fine grip. So it was all very, everybody was still looking for what can we do and how shall we do it on this kind of terrain. But sounds nice.
No,
And the thing
it was good. There was some interesting bits. They managed to get the drone up, and they live streamed the drone to a TV, which was a feat of engineering, given the difficulty of signals through the trees and stuff like that. What was good was they did an endurance race. First one, I think, anywhere within Europe, other than, I suppose you got the Infinity race at Portugal, but this was teams. So you could have teams of up to 4 people, and it was 2 hours, as many laps as you can do. And it was exhausting. And it was bloody hot, bloody dusty. Like, it was just constant clouds of dust. But I think they had like 10 different teams. So you had sort of 40 odd people going just round and on the track, round and round and round and round, changing over, handing over baton with the timing chip on it. And then going round and round and round. But it was exhausting. I mean, my team didn't come last, but that's only because Jonathan did the whole thing on his own. I blame my eldest son for that. Matthew will never listen to these. It's his bloody fault for he just decided to gently cruise around the track instead of race.
Okay.
I think he thought it was a 24-hour race instead of a 2-hour race.
Kabam.
But we enjoyed it. We all enjoyed it. It was good fun. Trick
That's the
competition
main
was nice
goal
as well. Yeah,
that's
really good.
The main goal.
And then we have Dolomites, one wheeling in the Dolomites. That was spectacular to watch. Yeah,
I hope there will be a bit longer video coming out than the snippets that we've been seeing. I think so, because they did a whole trip there. The guides were PJ and Martin, 2 guys that we all know in the European community. They have been doing Float Italia back in the day. They're also responsible for the first Trick and Dirt event in Italia, a slopestyle event, which I was lucky enough to be invited to. And they now put something together with Onewheel to go cruising in the Dolomites, which looked mighty fine. The views, the scenery,
really spectacular. I mean, I've ridden my motorcycle around sort of the Pyrenees and places like that, and it certainly has all that vibe. And you do that in the summer, obviously, and it's beautiful seeing the snow on the Cap Mountains and stuff like that. But seeing these guys, and I suppose it's that age-old problem of you're watching the video, and even though in your brain you know that's steep, they're going down there, and everyone's like, "Whoa, yeah, go for it!" But it looks like they're flat. There was Bart Miller posted up some videos. He's like, "Yeah, go for it," and I'm like, "Doesn't look like what's he cheering for? He's on a flat." But my brain is then looking at the house in the distance that's like this. It's slightly at a 45 odd degree angle in the side of that's a big slope that they're racing down. But yeah, look like they all had almost everybody had a good time. There was a few visits to hospital that I saw.
Yeah, Maxwell Rose apparently broke his collarbone and is out for a while. But he did promise to put out a lot of videos. So Maxwell, if you're watching this, we're expecting a lot of cool videos now.
Well, I said to him, annoyingly, I don't feel like jinxed it, but annoyingly, I'd said to him that when he started the trip, I went, go enjoy the trip in a month or so's time. We'll get in contact with you, Maxwell. We will, and we'll get you on here to tell us about the trip. But he's going to have an extra part to the trip to explain about how good the Italian A&E department, accident emergency departments are, and what's the quality of care. Maybe we can get Nick on at some point, and we can just compare the quality of care, and Gary, get them all in just to see who's got the best healthcare. That's actually it. We could start doing a bit of a list, actually. Maybe that could be the Christmas episode. All the people over the season that have injured themselves in Europe. Who's got the best hospital services?
Yeah, might be interesting to know for the people out there.
X-rays are required for entry. So Darren, who else we've got? Ed Penny. We could get quite a few people on with their
Jaffa
injuries
as
and their
well
X-rays.
with his broken bone. There's quite a
Hopefully
few.
our guest doesn't have any broken bones, who's now waiting in the wings.
All right.
So let's let him in and let's say hello.
Hello, Mr. Luke.
Why have you got so many filing cabinets behind you?
I have
full of Onewheel parts.
Well, I quite like filing cabinets. Yeah, Onewheel parts, van parts, random bits of metal to make Onewheels.
Yeah,
well,
right.
Onewheel shaped objects. I don't make Onewheels.
Well, let's
Watch out with what you're saying there.
let's get into it. Always terrible. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf here. Luke, introduce yourself to the audience.
So who am I? I'm Luke. I'm just a random guy who makes weird Onewheels. I started making weird Onewheels maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Mark was. You saw the first one. You were one of the first people to see the first one. So the funny little fella.
Gallon.
Yeah. I've got him with me, obviously. Now I'm making bigger, more exotic, possibly, arguably more practical, but arguably less practical Onewheels.
Yeah, I've seen some amazing machines and creations.
Mm-hmm.
I've been lucky enough to try a few.
You had a
Not
go
all
on
of
this
those.
one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with the spring on it, and the other one was not. Was it already? Yeah, you did a race on that.
Yes, I made sure that, but this was the timeline I set myself. I said, this needs to be ready for Shred the Shires. And I did, just about. Made sure it was done. It was only done the week before, but it was finished.
It was riding.
But now I've done, since then, which was May, I've now done 1,000 miles on it. So I think...
Well, you ride it all
I ride
the
it
time,
quite a lot.
don't you?
I live in quite a well pedestrianised town. And yeah, I mean, I think today I did like 20 miles. So...
So that's not a standard wheel. Where did you get the wheel from?
Hang on. Let's backtrack a second. We all want to talk about the XLV because it's a beautiful beast of a jet engine when it comes past you. But let's backtrack a little bit.
Does make a bit
because
of noise.
People love the XLV, but Luke, you are probably the one person that I know personally that's probably had the most hate online for creating one-wheel shaped objects. Your Gallon,
but I am.
when you first made the Gallon,
it's a bit controversial. There are a lot of people who made not very nice comments about my one-wheel shaped object. Well, it's not really a one-wheel shaped object anymore. It's made of a pint. For anybody who wonders what it is made of a pint, and all it really is just some highly modified rails. But it's very fun. Anybody who's got on it immediately smiles in terror, but you can't help but smile when you're on it.
I personally enjoyed when I first got to have a go on it, and you went, "Oh, you need the one-wheel brick."
Yeah, that was early days
before to get up onto it.
Before anybody had really figured out how to ride the thing. I'm pretty slick in getting on it now. I can pretty much just kind of stand still. You got to do front foot first, which is a bit unnerving, but once you get past that, it's
a little
fine.
hop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think getting on it is the hardest part of the whole machine.
Yes, but saying that, speaking to the popularity, when I built it, I never expected anybody to like make a copycat, but since there has been at least 2 copycats that I know of, and there's also the Flight Fins one, because Adam Freeman made one, and then Paul Burgess made an even more terrifying one, which his was even taller and a very interesting creation. But they say what was it? Copycat or is flattery or
Absolutely.
What's the phrase?
Something like that. I'm not going to start quoting.
Luke, if you have it, Derek,
I'll disappear from the screen, listeners, and I'll just.
Look, if you have it, Derek, can you pull it up for the people who don't know what we're talking about?
Yeah. Hold on.
I thought you were going to be sitting on it.
It's not that tall. This little guy.
Yeah, there it is.
This is what I want. Yeah, there's
It's
quite a lot of
great.
names. There was quite a lot of good names. I think Craft and Ride, God bless their soul. When they used to post stuff on Instagram, I think they posted something to the effect of, what would you call this thing? And there was quite a lot of good naming suggestions. There were quite a lot of bad names that were suggested as well, but there was, I think Stout was one that I thought was good because it's tall and black. Off the back of this, I made the Flight Fins one, which I think is arguably more practical. It's a bigger board. It's got flight fins, which makes it way less wobbly.
Yeah.
I love seeing clips of that. That's fun.
So your
When
background,
people
Luke, is
share
that mechanical engineering, or what is your background?
I
to be
don't
able
call
to-
myself an engineer. I'm a fabricator. So fabricator means I primarily make stuff. I make stuff out of stuff. My favorite thing to do is welding and metal work, but do a little bit of carpentry, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, I love welding. I do love welding. That's something that I really enjoy doing. I love creating something out of metal. I think not many people do it as well. It's a bit more niche, and I think lots of people have gone into 3D printing, which is great. And you see a lot of 3D printed Onewheels, but you don't see very many welded Onewheels.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see a lot of, well, I do, yeah, above average amount.
Yeah.
So you've got
mainly like
you've got
Go
the gallon, the half pint, which I think is the best name that was
half pint's quite good. Yeah.
that was given to it. But before that, you I remember because when we went riding the first time, and that was when you showed me the pint afterwards, was that you had your was it XR or whatever it is, the one with the
It was an early version of this.
Is that one? But you've got the little extra ledge on it for
I
your
do
dog
have
to stand
that
on, which I
somewhere.
thought was just brilliant.
I do have, I haven't used that for a very long time. He will just get on a board without it, but that was, I think that was the very first like big mod that I made to a board. He's pretty good at cruising alongside me. Sounds the one side, held on. He quite likes that.
He's got little feet.
Hop on, hop off when he gets tired.
So he actually rides with you on a board.
Sometimes, yeah. I'm sure you've got a clip somewhere, Mark.
Yeah, I do somewhere.
I'll throw it on the screen.
I can try.
There isn't very much. There isn't
it.
very much footage. It's not something that I do frequently, but he can do it.
It's also not an easy thing to do, to ride the one wheel, get your dog jump on the one wheel, whip out your phone, record the dog at a decent angle, riding alongside you.
Exactly. When the dog's on board, you've got to pay attention.
Yeah,
whipping out the GoPro or whatever, it's a recipe for disaster.
Maybe he'll just try to catch it.
He's a very fast dog, but he's not good at catching.
This one time it saved Jaffa's ass probably when he was riding in Italy. He wanted to take a shortcut off a mountain because he wanted to get home, and it was private property. And while riding, suddenly 3 of these huge dogs came running out of the house while he was passing by, and he luckily had his 360 cam behind him, and they went for the 360 cam instead of him.
Hopefully it was on.
That was sketchy. yeah, it was on. It was really cool footage. Yeah,
I got chased by some dogs today, actually. Thankfully, they were pretty small dogs, so I managed to outrun them pretty easy on the XLB. But yeah, those damn dogs. It's always the small ones.
They make most noise.
Yeah.
So you've got the monstrosity.
So
what did you build after that?
So we'll do timeline. So the timeline was the funny overhang thing that I made for this. Then because I got this, I stopped using the pint, which I think is a pretty normal thing. I think a lot of people probably have a similar story. They go an upgrade, and then all of a sudden they've got this board sitting around that's not really doing anything. And I was like, I could do something kind of fun with this. So I did that. Then I made the gallon, this weird little thing. And then after the gallon, I decided I wanted suspension. And at the time, you could get suspension from Sonny wheels. I think you've got to have seen Sonny. Yeah. And also the keel guards one. But it was like, I could buy them, but I was like, I could probably make my own. I thought I could probably do it. So I whipped this together. It is a bit Frankenstein. I will admit it's a bit crude, but it works. I think I've probably got like 1,500 miles on this setup now. And Yeah, suspension's nice. It's nice.
I
It
can
was
confirm.
worth crafting it together to feel what suspension feels like. And I will say suspension is better than this in terms of like comfort. Cruising, this is a smoother board than that.
Yeah, I can confirm. I rode it on Shred the Shires, and I purposely rode through some big potholes where I knew I was getting stuck. I was riding my growler back there, and I knew I was getting stuck with the little pine wheel that's on there. And with this one, I just cruised right through those potholes and like the gutters that cars make. It's really amazing. I really like the feeling. It is like for my riding style, I mainly do tricks.
Yeah, a bit
It's
redundant for the kind of
yeah,
things that you do.
not the board for that, but for cruising, definitely a
And to that
massive
effect,
improvement.
I want to see different kinds of boards. I want to see boards that are for tricks. I want to see boards that are for cruising, boards that are for long distance. You know, one of the things that I would like to see going forward is better diversification of one wheels. You know, how many different kinds of bicycles do you see? Right? So many different kinds of bicycles because it's had time to develop, time to mature as a hobby, as a sport, as a
Hobby,
as a thing.
pastime.
Exactly, and that's what I want to see better boards at doing. I want to see a board that's really good at tricks, but maybe not very good with the range, or
I guess
a
that's
heavy
the thing, isn't
board
it?
that's
Because
good for range.
we've said in probably the last episode, I think, about the mix of, you know, hoping that one wheel we're going to make some sort of trick board with vesking stuff. You can tweak it, you can change it, you can change the circuitry and stuff like that, but it's still the same shape. It's still the same profile. You
think
can put on the rails
the
and stuff like that, but within reason, it's still the same machine.
Yeah, some people's street board is going to be some people's trail board. You know, there's only so much, there's only so wide it can go. I mean, some people have kind of say that the XR Classic is the tricks board because it's like a GT, but like a bit lighter. So I don't know, maybe. I think that they should have called it the GT Slim because it's not an XR, is it? But
Internally, it's still a GT.
exactly,
It
just
is a
call
bit
it GT
slimmed down, but
Slim. I think that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, valid point.
Anyway,
there.
so you asked what was it? I made the suspension for this, and then I made that for a while. And when I was doing this, because this is still a plus,
Okay.
I wanted to get into Vest, but Vest was still kind of complicated. But more recently, lots of good developments by the community have been done, and making a Vesk one wheel is the easiest it's ever been. I'm not going to say it's straightforward. It's still, you know, a fairly hardcore
bloody
hobby.
Vesk.
Yeah, bloody Vesk, exactly.
I love your stickers.
Yeah, there's a couple in frame somewhere.
I'll put them in
Okay.
frame. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a fairly hardcore hobby, but you know, this is my first Vesk, and I made this with fairly crude tools, to be honest. Like, I don't have anything particularly fancy. I made this in my at-home garage.
Yeah.
You know, I do have access to fancy equipment at work, but I didn't use any of that to make this. Like anybody who was persistent enough could probably do it. It's not, you know,
It's not rocket science.
well, no, it's one wheel science, one wheel shaped object science.
I mean, when you so let's move on there. So I'm not going to let you forget about the chairs that you've made, because those are things of beauty. Those are almost artwork.
No,
But
I've got a few.
The XLV, made and launched before the GTXL.
Yes,
well, don't forget
the OG XL, maybe.
And you teased us for ages with pictures of it and stuff like that, and you showed us.
Well, it took me a while to build it. You know, it took me like 6 months to do it. It was, you know, evenings and weekends.
What is the process here? You know, you can't knock it up in a weekend. You say you use quite rudimentary tools and stuff. I mean, like that.
So you know,
but there's getting the angles and shit. I don't know fuck about anything, but there's angles and stuff that you've got to get right.
No, so
tensile strength. I don't know, whatever materials you use.
Right. So here we have. This is a bit small, but we have a piece of tube. Right. It's made by taking a piece of sheet metal, folding it together, they weld it, they clean off the weld, and then you have a piece of tube. And that is fundamentally what most things are made of. You know, cars, it's kind of a slightly bigger, more complicated version. It's folded sheet metal that gets welded together. Onewheels typically aren't made of any kind of sheet metal. Well, there might be some sheet metal, but you know, there's a lot of CNC aluminium, which is all very nice. It's all billet. It's all wonderful and shiny. You know, we've seen the tech rail stuff, right? It's very nice. You drool over that.
Yeah.
It's very nice. And it's light. And it's good for mass manufacturing. This isn't a practical way to make a one wheel. Let me be very clear.
No.
It's a good way to make a one-off,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like for mass market, this would be a terrible way to make a one wheel. It's very, very labor intensive. It's quite a heavy board for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very fun board, I'd say. The most fun I've ever had on one wheel.
Yeah. It looks
you
like a wicked thing.
You asked what the process was. So yeah, I take bigger bits than this and you cut angles on them and you join them together so you can see how this is one piece, that's another piece, there's an angle, you know, that's all welded, and then I use an angle grinder and clean the weld off and make it all nice and flat so you can't see that it was there before. So this is made up of 5 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they all get joined together, and these are hollow so you can run the cables through, which makes it nice and easy as well.
Yeah. That's really an advantage to the aluminium rails, that you can tuck in the cables into the rail. I saw that with the float box models as well. Very easy to go inside the rail, which saves a lot of space indeed.
Yeah. And if this space were bigger, you could maybe do more exciting things with it.
Yeah. You're already thinking.
I've got lots of plans. This is, you know, one of some boards.
A fleet.
Yeah, it will be a fleet by the time I've got an idea for a couple more.
So Vinie asked about the tyre before I told you to start at the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Where the hell did you get a tyre like that from? I mean, there's Big Tyre Gang and then there's Luke.
Huge Tyre Gang.
Yeah.
So I built this, I made the suspension, and before I built this, I saw a guy online who'd made something vaguely similar to this, a guy called Jonathan Adams. He'd made a board with, I think it was an 18 by 8 by something, and it was quite like early vest tech. It was like not a great battery, not a great motor, not great programming, but it worked. I thought, that's pretty cool. I kind of want one of them. But it was like another 3-4 years before I did anything after I saw that. But I thought, what's the biggest practical size tire? You know, where's the top of the bell curve? I think this is close somewhere. I think much bigger than this, it does just start to get a bit impractical. It's just a bit too big, and there's nothing much more to be gained. Plus, your legs just start getting further and further apart. This is fine, but much more would be too much.
How flexible are your hips? You know, how wide can you start to stretch?
Not willing to show you that on camera.
Oh, off camera, interesting.
Hey, what happens off camera is
dangerous. Well, I remember when you first sort of posted a few kind of teaser pictures and stuff online.
Yeah, I was posting
comments of people saying,
the best
"Oh,
Facebook
you're gonna rip your legs apart," and what about?
And they were right. I have
on that and all the rest of it.
I still don't have a fender. I have hurt myself a few times by the tire biting my ankle, and I don't care. I'm generally a function first person, but you don't want to cover up this big, beautiful tire. No, it's
every one wheel looks nice without a fender. Let's face
does.
It just
look, I like a fender, you know, but like you can't put a fender on this, you know. So I did put the most comically small stainless steel fender on the front. It looks really nice, but it's not terribly functional, I'm going to admit.
It's kind of to direction all the dirt towards your legs
a little
when you're
bit,
riding.
Yeah.
It's a little bit higher than the trainers.
Yeah, this is like boots and like, you know, put your trousers down, tuck your socks in maybe kind of thing. I
think so.
The sound that thing makes, ladies and gents, when Luke is riding past you at great speed.
Yes, because it's quite deeply treaded. It does make more noise than a normal tire.
But it sounds like a jet engine. I'm not even kidding.
On grass, it's practically silent, but if you go on the pavement, you hear it coming. which is kind of nice.
Well,
People turn around, they look, they see you coming.
Well, we went for a ride, didn't we? And it was along a new housing estate, and it's got all kind of that plastic matting sort of thing.
Yeah. So it doesn't get all boggy.
And it was just like, I could hear you. You were at the back of like 8 riders, and I could just hear you going. I'm like, what the? I thought there was something literally coming overhead, not Luke coming by, just going, woo. It was excellent. I was like, bloody hell, that's a jet, man, coming through.
It does make a bit of noise.
It was brilliant. It was absolutely wicked. What's the tire on the bottom of the screen there? Is that spare?
That's
or?
That's the newer improved version of this board, which is also not finished. But where did the tire come from?
Yeah, is it like
it's just a tire off of the internet. It's for like go-karts or ATVs or like a mower. It's not for anything specific. It's just I ordered it off of the internet. That's
all-purpose tire.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing special. It has no tax on it. This costs about a third of what a one-wheel tire costs.
And it's probably 3 times as durable as well.
Well, I've done 1,000 miles on this, and this side is looking a bit bald, but I could probably get another 100 out of it pretty comfortably. Yeah. So it's pretty good. It's certainly lasting longer than an Enduro does.
Talking about tires, did you, in the last few weeks, there was a guy, don't remember his name, let me think, Mitch Scheel, who posted in the Vesk group that he's working on an airless tire.
The 3D printed one.
Yeah. And he now made a mold, I read, and I saw a video of them testing it. It turns like shit, has no grip.
I anticipated that's probably what it was going to ride like.
Yeah, but they did drop it from pretty high up, and it stayed intact, which was already pretty amazing.
I think you can make a functional tire, but with 3D printing, I don't think you're ever going to make a tire that feels good. Like a pneumatic tire with air in it is never going to feel the same as an airless tire. And you can tune the way a tire feels. We'll weigh different amounts. We're going over different terrain. 12 psi, 8 psi, whatever. It feels different. If you can't tune that for a different rider on different terrains, I don't think it's ever going to be as nice. I mean, you're always going to have issues. You're going to get punctures, but to be honest, I think for board feel, I'd rather have the occasional puncture than a 3D printed tire. I don't mess with 3D printing personally. It's not my thing.
Yeah, I think the train of thought was to make a tire that is easily replaceable, because the rubber tires are a bit of a pain in the ass to swap.
I think that's a technique issue.
Yeah,
if you look at the Float Life video, I think it's like maybe 20 minutes. No, maybe probably less than that. And if you weigh less, if you're a smaller guy, it is going to be more difficult. But the videos where you see people and they've like got a saw to get the tire off, like, no. If you're thinking of doing that, don't do that.
The thing about changing tires is that the more tires you change, the technique you develop your own technique.
Yeah, my first one was a bit difficult. I struggled a bit.
Yeah.
I think everyone
you get
does.
Silly ideas. Once you get good at changing a tire, you start thinking you can fit lifesavers, and then you realise that you don't know how to do shit all. I've got 2 sets of lifesavers. I just can't. But I've boiled them to within an inch of their life. With bloody tongs trying to stretch them out to make fucking things, nightmare things. One day.
Cool, bring them around my way. We'll get them fitted for you.
Yeah, especially the last versions of the Float Life, the rounded ones are a bit more tricky to get on.
Maybe apparently, the ones I had with the other one.
Yeah, the older ones were easier. Chill.
Yeah. They are. But, I might hold you to that offer, Luke, because currently my GT is in pieces.
Yeah, it's not a very happy board you're board at the minute, is it?
Yeah, let's not talk about that fucking Vesk. Just for everyone to know, I commentator's curse is what it's called. When you're watching a TV show or a sporting event and they go, they don't want that to happen, and then the runner falls over or whatever like that. Well, before I went to Send It Surrey, we recorded an episode, and I gleefully said that never had a problem with my board, with my GT. It's been perfect. What did it do at Send It Surrey? Well, mid-jump, I don't jump, but mid-jump, it just died. Died a death. It's been tested.
It probably
with an
wasn't
inch
mid-jump.
size.
I'm guessing it was probably the impact.
Probably the impact of the jump, but it definitely, I don't know. I turned around, I spun, I picked it up, and as soon as I looked at it, I went, light's not fucking on. Went to turn it on,
That's not
didn't
what you want to
engage.
see.
Suffice to say, my
Local shame.
Fungineers package has been dispatched yesterday.
Fantastic.
So,
Bloody vest.
yeah.
Bloody
I've still
vest.
got one functioning FM board. It just needs a foot pad on an old pint. But otherwise,
That's
everything
good.
else is
This
best.
is quite an old board. This is a very new
How old
board.
is it?
Well, this is a plus. So
Yeah,
this
I
is an old board, but this I only finished in May. This one, which you can't quite see, it's just out of frame. I haven't finished yet.
You're not going to show us, are you? You're like,
Do
teasing
you
us.
want to see it? You've not really asked. Do you want to see it, Mark?
I don't want to be rude, but show me your special thing.
There we go.
This is when everyone realizes that I have a screen over here and the camera's here because I want to look at the screen. Sod you guys.
Let's pick it up. Easier to show it off.
Ooh. It's the
Okay.
XL.
The XLVS. So unlike future motion boards, I know what the S stands for on mine, and S stands for suspension.
Yes.
So this is just a mountain bike shock. It's nothing particularly special. You can get really cheap ones like this one. I think this one was the cheapest one I could find on the internet at the time. And then this is not a very expensive adjustable one. But then everything else is custom. So it's the same tire as the other board,
Yeah.
but it's got a swing arm.
Yeah. And it's inside the rail.
Yeah, so I did have to make the board wider, but to be honest, I've enjoyed how much wider XLV is than a conventional board. And
Okay.
I really don't think that this being wider still is going to be an issue. This is still barely wider than the length of my foot. So I don't think it's unreasonable yet.
The length of the pad area, is it just the camera and am I just imagining that it's slightly shorter than the normal pad would be?
At the front,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
but
the
the
controller
pad's
side.
going to cover most of that.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I just
So
thought
it will
was-
be it'd be shorter, but there'll still be plenty of room.
Yeah. Controller wise, you're still good there. And what kind of battery do you throw in such a
So
beast?
a big one.
I
Not
can
sure. I'm
imagine.
not sure I want to say yet.
Oh.
I mean, if you know where to look to find that information, you can find it. But like,
Going
Gonna look at
progressive.
our WhatsApp
it's going to be
group
bigger than
chat
this
now.
one. Well, for anybody that's curious, so this is a 20S. This is 84 volt. My
Yeah.
XLV,
Mm-hmm.
the purple one. This is going to be more.
Yeah.
To be honest, 20
Someone out there is crunching the numbers and has worked it out immediately.
probably 20S on this is enough. It's good. I think for most riders, it's it's plenty of board. You can get up most hills. It goes nearly 30 miles an hour. It's very fun. It carves very well, which is why I want a second board with the same tire, but with
Yeah.
suspension, because as I said earlier, this board is smoother than this board, which is why I need them to have a hybrid.
Combination of the two.
Yeah,
Best
Yeah.
of both worlds.
exactly. Because even with all of this sidewall, this is still better, which tells me
Okay.
that this is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Should be pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, again, not for everything. It's not going to be a very good tricks board. It'd make a terrible tricks board.
You never
But-
know. You could try. You can try.
Yeah.
But I think
I said that about the Onewheel when I saw it as well. I said, like, they're never going to do tricks with that. Look where we are now.
I know.
Yeah.
You see on the Instagram some of the things that people are doing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And those guys are sitting
Finger
there now
flips off
looking
of
at your
ramps.
stuff going, some of the things he's doing is crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a pretty average rider. Like I make cool one wheels, but like I'm not that fast. There's a lot of people who can ride a one wheel real hard, and I enjoy riding. But like I'm not going to put in a particular. I think I was like bottom third for the Send It Surrey laps. So make of that what you will.
We were talking about that before you came on about Send It Surrey and the mildly rutty
Gonna put this
track
down.
that they had.
It was wonderful.
How do you think
I don't know what you're
how do you think
talking
the
about.
suspension, the XLVS, would do on the Surrey track?
Suspension would have been nice. It was a bit of a tough track.
A leg burner.
Yeah. No, it was good. I enjoyed Send It Sorry. I will, if they have a second event, I'll go to the next one.
Absolutely. No, it was good. It was good. The lads that build the track and did it. I mean, it was regular rider bias. Absolutely.
I remember
100%.
hearing you say about this.
I might have said it once or twice. Look, when there's only bloody 3 right-hand turns or whatever it was, and the rest of them all the other way around. Come on. There was nowhere for me to turn half the time, but there you go. What can I say? Well, left-hand turns. But
You're gonna have to practice those left-hand turns.
Yeah, that's the only. Well, with my new fancy Vesk, maybe it would be easier.
Yeah,
dust off the track for some winter laps.
Where's yeah, maybe I should practice on the ramps a little bit more, not break a board. Have you got your wicked what I think is quite pretty, because I'm a biker, so it's very biker-esque stall to hand?
I do. I made sure to bring all of the cool stuff.
Great, I love it.
Ta-da!
Oh yeah,
Right.
That's
so
the one that I saw and Send It Surrey.
For anybody who doesn't know, it goes approximately there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's made with a motorcycle seat, and it's got a big light at the front. And yeah, I quite enjoy chair. I'm sure I won the chair race at Send It Surrey. Ka-ching.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the prize, Mark. You'd clearly sponsored it or something, because it had a nice, great big Shred the Shires sticker on it.
Yes, it did. It looks a little bit like this.
Yeah.
So chair. I love chair. You saw people doing it on rocking horses many years ago. I think that was like one of the early versions of chair. And I thought, oh, that's quite good. And I thought that the rocking horse was arguably like a bit more, still very silly, but arguably more practical. And that's where my particular design kind of stemmed from, and also why I typically refer to mine as a horse rather than a chair, which is a bit of it's a very niche in thing, but if you know, you know.
Yeah.
I said mine's way better. I've sent this off of some stuff, and it's still in one piece. And
do you get weirder looks riding the chair through your town than you do standing on the board?
I get way more looks on this board than I ever did on this board. Like, people do notice you, but I think way more people seem to notice this. On chair, I think more people are confused. I think at this, at least, okay, it's a skateboard. Yeah. Like, I still don't really understand what it is, which is fair enough, because it's one of one. Unless you know what a one wheel is, and then know who I am and what this is, you're not going to know what this is, you know?
Yeah.
So when you see the chair on this, nobody has any idea what they're looking at, because nobody's seen one before.
Yeah. And you can't really see it because you've got a chair over the top of it.
Exactly. So yeah, I get confusion, a lot of weird looks. I do get quite a lot of kids in my town as I go past shout, "That's it," because they go past. They don't know what it is, but they're like, "That's cool. I like that thing. That's cool."
The main question that I hear when I ride by kids is always like, "Dad, what's that?" They always ask their parents, and their parents are like, I don't know.
What's that, and how much is it?
And that's the second question.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I think that was my second question when I found out what a one wheel was. Like, okay, how much is it? Can I buy one now? When I saw a one wheel, I knew I needed one. I didn't know what for, but I knew I needed one.
It's a strange feeling, but it's there.
It certainly is. So how long do you think, Luke, until the XLS is finished?
The XLVS.
XLVS. I try and block Vesk out of my head. You know that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make sure it's done for next Shred the Shires. That's kind of the loose date that I've put on myself. It's good to have a timeline.
Yeah.
I like working to a rough date. As I say, it is evenings and weekends. This is a passion project at the minute. Maybe that'll change. It wouldn't be nice if that changed, but at the minute, this is just something that I could donate free time to as a bit of an experiment. It's all experimental. I didn't know if it was going to work. This was my first Vex. I didn't know how to do any of the tuning before I built it, because you can't really fiddle with the settings before you've got the board.
Okay.
And I didn't have a Vesk board yet, so I had to finish it before I really even started fiddling with all the settings.
Yeah. Then the tinkering starts.
Yeah, and now I've got the tinkering bug. Now I need a second one. I'm thinking, well, this would be faster if it had Vesk as well. More
Things to think about. Things to think about. I have this nasty fly who wants to get in the vlog here all night.
Not helping.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Luke, we'll wrap up because I've got a steak that I've got to go and cook more than anything else, really. Thank you for coming on. And this is the first time I've properly seen you, so I can say properly, almost face to face, congratulations on your wedding.
Yes.
Getting married.
Yeah, that was the other week.
2 weeks
that was
ago?
very nice.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you. Very good day. Very, very much enjoyed that. Yeah. Loved it.
I was kind of hoping at least at one point to see like a couple of cans attached to the XLV.
Yeah. No, I did want to do some photos like that, but the weather on the day was fickle.
That was terrible.
Yeah, we got a couple good photos, but we didn't have time to mess around with that, unfortunately. So I will do those because I do want. I want them for myself. That'd be quite fun. A couple Onewheel themed wedding photos.
Yeah, would be nice. All right. Thank you so much, Luke, for joining us and for explaining. And thanks for explaining about your creations. We're really looking forward to what you're going to bring in the future, because it's always a nice day when Luke comes up with a new wheel.
Yeah, I've got a few more.
All right. Looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I can stop saying I need to get Luke on the podcast now.
No, at least for now, until I've built like a few more boards.
Where's my list? Where's my list? I can cross your name off of my list now. I do have a list somewhere in there.
We'll stop bringing it up every time we
like
see each other.
A year ago. It was actually a year ago. I just realised it was probably around about now last year. I sat at home going, I could do a podcast. Yeah, I could do a podcast. I wonder if I can convince Vinie while I'm in Portugal to do a podcast.
And that's where you dropped the ball.
There you go. Look, I can't even show. Look, I haven't written anything, and I don't even suppose my scribble of handwriting. But somewhere in there, it says.
I'm in there somewhere.
It says, if I underline it, it says Luke's builds on my list. So there you go.
We covered all of the important ones.
There you are. On the list over a year ago. Getting through it eventually.
All right. So cool to see that people are really tinkering with all these things, creating their own. The DIY community is a whole world by itself, and I always am amazed by what I see. And we always see cool stuff like with Luke. Amazing.
Yeah, I made a mistake just a couple of days ago because I'd got the parts for the GT coming from Fungineers, and I'm getting a sensor pad, and I'm getting some footholds from double toe 7 footholds for my son's XR, and going to fit the flight fins to my youngest's Pint V. And I got this spare pint, so I made the mistake in our local group chat of saying, guys, what can I do with this basically spare pint? Of course, Luke starts typing, to which I go, Luke, you can stop typing, because God knows what creation he would have started suggesting. He said, well, I've got a few ideas.
Another
I was thinking more just, do I get some flared foot pads or something like that? You know,
not a whole new creation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't have the garage space for a scaffolding framed Onewheel pint.
Yeah, and you
probably
must
about
have.
What I could build, I think.
You must have the patience as well It's these kind of like big projects that always take a lot of time. And I always admire people who have the patience to go through like the whole process, because I still remember one time I made like a wooden fun box to skateboard on, just a wooden frame with some plates and 2 metal edges, and it was crooked as it could be. I couldn't get the thing. I didn't have any tools to like set it up properly, measure it out, and I had the most crooked fun box to skate on, but yeah, it did the job. But it's nothing like the finesse that we've seen on his board. So major respect for that.
They are fantastic. And what Luke did mention, that he doesn't. It's not just a hobby; he does that for work as well.
Yeah.
So goes to work, welding, fabricating, building, and then comes home and still wants to continue working on his Onewheel projects. So it really is a proper passion project, and he goes so fast on tarmac on those bloody things, and round the fields. To be fair, absolutely nuts on them. But,
I saw some.
Now he's starting doing drops, so we'll put up Luke's Instagram handle up there and see him starting to do drops. All of a few months ago on the XLV, doing drops off of park benches and stuff, which is just crazy.
I'm holding my breath for the EOL finals this year, because I've seen like now on Floatline Fest the mass race, I think speeds of about 45 miles per hour are no exception anymore there, and that's like, what is that, 70 kilometers an hour with a Onewheel. I saw, I think it was Luke Austin following an AUC with ease in the race. I was like, oh, it's getting so wicked. But Fabio put out a preview of the track, I think in the finals group. I don't know if it was already accessible for everyone, but it's going to be a wicked track. And they did take out the major speed zones, so it's going to be a bit more technical. There's still a few fast lanes, but it's going to be a good mix of a lot of terrain.
I've said well done to Fabio and whoever's doing their social media, because they've done exceptionally well on really making me regret a few work choices this year. I've seen some other bits and pieces as well, the features that they're building, and some other bits and pieces are it's going to be a good race. But we will talk about that more on the next episode, which we don't normally. I'm not normally that organized, but people don't. I genuinely, guys, there's no fucking prep for this whatsoever. But
there's no
plan. Our next episode, Fabio will be coming on talking, and we're going to talk everything all about the EOL finals. I don't know how well this is going to work, because Fabio will be in the middle of the Onewheel Algarve tour, going into the last hotel of the tour. But we'll make our chat with. I said all he needs is headphones and a phone.
Yeah.
And then I forgot that there's probably another 15 other One-Wheelers with Fabio at that time in the hotel. So it could be interesting. It could be an interesting episode.
Indeed. Really looking forward to talking to Fabio to see how things are going and get a final update before going there myself.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I couldn't resist. I even got the wifey as far to tag along. So Ellen is also joining for the week. We're going for a small week. So
nice.
Just to enjoy
a
little
bit. Year. We stayed there for 5-6 days last year. It's just nice. I fell asleep on the beach for like 3 hours. It was great. It's so
been
chill.
Rated the most beautiful beach of Europe, I think, for a couple of times. Falacia Beach, and you're right at Falacia where Fabio has his supermercado. So good times ahead. I think on that note, we can wrap things up.
Yep.
So you get your steak going, and I can get some sleep going, because I almost didn't sleep last night, and it's been such a hectic day. We've been having to organize events on the job. I had to take pictures. I'm making a video for which I had to shoot images today. It was such a hectic day. So I'm gonna be glad that I'm gonna be under the wall. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Share the video with whoever you want to share it, even with your roller skating club, whatever. Just go ahead, like it, share it, and take it away. Mark?
Keep that nose up.
No, I don't even know what episode this is.
Welcome to episode 21.
All right.